Hi guys, fáilte Arís week episode de Éist Arís an show in bhíimiid ag brisú síos clipanna difriúla scoilga le conútí difriúla agus country difriúla onas go mbeidh siad ó bhád níos éasca chun tuiscint. This week we're listening to two clips. As always, the first a bit easier than the second, or hopefully a bit easier, but depends on what kind of maybe dialects you're more used to and what speakers you're used to hearing. And they're both going to be taken from shows done by Hector O'Hookon. Both are available for free to watch on the TG Gaffer player. So I'll leave the links down below along with the timestamps if you want to listen to these specific clips as opposed to watch the full show. But I'd recommend watching the full show, and both have English subtitles available along with them. Okay, so in the first clip we're going to be listening to Hector himself. In the second clip I'll talk about later, we'll more so be listening to one of the guests that he was talking to. So Kate clip tá Hector ag taistil sa bhliain na 2001 ceapam agus tá sé I Bolivia, I La Paz I Bolivia. So he's in La Paz in Bolivia, traveling many years ago, 2001 or 2000 I think, and this is kind of the intro to the show. He's got a bit of a mountain in the background, which you obviously can't see. But he's got a big mountain in the background. You can see most of the city, and he's going to kind of introduce the city and introduce the show a bit. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started. As always, listen to the clip as many times as you want to. I'm just going to play it once here and keep on listening to it until you think you're not going to be able to get any more out of it. Okay, and use your notes, use Folklore Bungai, use whatever you need to use to try and figure it out as best as you can. And then when you're ready, we'll break it down afterwards, line by line.
Ille mani a gléintí dar an slíomh ítach mór sin a mar tá mar chúlra an car seo Le Paz. Tá an slíomh sin níos mó ná 6,000 méadar airde. Tá Everest hátar 8,000 méadar airde. Agus tugann si sin beag an íon ólastíomh céco ord is atá an car seo Le Paz. Nis, conas a croigh carr mar seo có ord sa spéir. Is dócha cáid goil siad go dtí Amsar an Lecar. Tháinig an gléisiar mór mílteach mór seo, Sea Street and Valley, agus sciúb sé amach an crater seo. Bhí na Spanish conquistadors an seo a wad ar as star, agus bhí siad a chréidean ag the Bolivians. Fear dar bhana Mendoza a tháinig go dtí an áite. Tháinig sé álach na háite, tháinig sé muinte na háite, agus dúirt sé sin é, ní muid géirí tríd níos mó, ní muid géirí an cog a bheith agan níos mó libh, fága muid é. Agus
Okay, so that is the clip. As I said, listen to it as many times as you want, and we'll begin the breakdown in a second. In terms of the Irish here, the actual content isn't too hard. The speed of it is quite difficult. Hector speaks quite fast, so you might have to go back and listen to it a few times. The accent, the dialect, Hector's Irish is probably middling in terms of difficulty to understand. There's a lot of people who would be tougher to understand than him, but also a lot of people who would be easier to understand. Okay, but let's go back to the start and break it down from the first line. And remember, he's talking about this mountain that's in the background firstly.
Ille mani a gléintí dar.
Okay, so Ille mani a gléintí air. So Illimani is just the name of it in Spanish, the name of the mountain. A gléintí air. And remember guys, when we're dealing with the verb glí and air afterwards, we're talking about basically what something is called or what it's named. Okay, so in the same way, let's say in English, you can use call to be calling someone or shouting out the name, but also to call someone a name. You know, he's called X, Y, or Z. Okay, glíú Michael air, he was called Michael, kind of past passive. Okay, so Illimani, a gléintí there, basically Illimani is what, or the kind of at is that. They call it. Okay, gléintí there, that's what they call it, and we always have the air afterwards. Okay, gléintí liam they call me Liam, for example.
Ille mani a gléintí dar an slíomh ítach mór sin.
An slíomh ítach mór sin, so that's what they call this really big mountain. Remember, ítach can be used as great, but it can also be used as very.